Hello, everyone. This is Leah Klein, Health and Wholeness Coach. And today, my question for you is: are you taking care of God's temple? Our verse says, plural, 1 Corinthians 3:16 and 17. Do you not know that you're God's temple and that God's Spirit dwells in you? If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him. For God's temple is holy, and you are that temple. Pretty strong words. The why is this, important? Why does God care so much about this? Is that you are God's holy temple. And he really does take very seriously how you take care of it. Now, what does it mean by destroying God's temple? I mean, the more obvious things that we would think of would be, like drugs or alcohol, prostitution, among other things. It's actually the context in which Paul is talking about here in 1 Corinthians, but it can obviously apply beyond that to more than just temple prostitutes, which was what he was specifically talking about a bunch, in 1 Corinthians. But those aren't the only things. Those aren't the only ways that we can, destroy God's temple. What about not getting enough sleep? I've done that. Are you really functional the next day? Not so much. Sometimes we don't always have a lot of control over how much sleep we get. But when we manage the fear and keep turning back to God, we're less likely to be all up in our heads and unable to sleep. That and having a sleep sanctuary and setting aside time to decompress before you go to bed, not watching TV right beforehand, things like that, obviously can help. Now, what about what you feed your body? If you're not giving it healthy foods, and say you're driving through, McDonald's or, some other fast food restaurant every other day, or is that going to be the best thing for your body? Is that going to be the best thing for your health long term if you're regularly doing that? What about moving your body? Are you actually exercising? I don't care if you are doing the whole, group fitness activity thing. It's like, are you going for a walk? Are you doing whatever kind of movement you like and will keep doing? That's the most important part about movement, is consistency and keeping doing it. So whatever that looks like for you, are you doing it? I know for me, most of the time, the best thing is walking. That is the best. I like to walk, and that is the easiest thing for me to do consistently. I also have a couple furry friends that insist on daily walks if they can get them. So that they have their benefits. So, but I want you to ask yourself, why are all these things that I'm mentioning, like, what you're feeding your body, how much you're sleeping, how much you're drinking water, moving your body, all these things that we do to take care of our God-given bodies, why is that so critical? Why is that so important to God? We know it is from our verse. It couldn't be more strongly worded. But why is that so important? Because if your health deteriorates, then it's harder for God to use you. Not that he can't and doesn't use those things for his purposes, but there's a lot he can do with somebody who's healthy and able to move and able to do things and be his hands and feet and care for those that need help. A lot of those things are really hard to do if you're sick all the time, if you're overweight and can't get around as well. Just think about that aspect of it, because we are his instruments. We are tools that he uses in this world. Not that he can't do without us and do things, but he chooses to use us, and he wants to use us for his purposes. So I want to encourage you just to think about that. Ask God to show you where he would have you take better care of your body, your God-given body, because it is a gift. Now, I want to wrap us up today with Take My Life and Let It Be. Since we are holy, I thought this was very appropriate. And if you know it, which many of you probably do, go ahead and sing along. If not, feel free to listen. Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. Let them flow in ceaseless praise. Take my hands and let them move at the impulse of thy love. Take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for thee, swift and beautiful for thee. And I will see you next week with another verse. See you then.